Tonight, when it gets dark, you will reach out, flip a switch, and the darkness will simply vanish. You will barely even think about it. Maybe you actually like the dark. You pull the curtains, turn off the lamp, sink into it warm and safe, and drift off to sleep. Now take that switch away. Take away every light you have ever owned, and understand that for almost the entire history of our species, when the sun went down, it did not get cozy, it got deadly. For 300,000 years, every single night brought around 12 hours of near total darkness. And in that darkness, the world stopped belonging to us. So here is the truth about your fear of the dark. It is not childish. It is not irrational. It may be one of the smartest instincts you own. Start with one simple fact about your body. You are a daytime animal. Your eyes are built for sunlight. In daylight, you see in sharp detail and full color, better than almost any predator alive. But the moment the light fades, you fall apart. Your vision turns grainy and gray. Distance flattens out. Detail disappears. You lose the one sense you lean on more than any other. And the animals that wanted to eat you had the exact opposite problem. A lion, a leopard, a hyena, all of them have a special mirrored layer at the back of the eye that catches every scrap of light and uses it twice. It is the reason their eyes seem to glow when light hits them, and yours never do. When the sun set, you went half blind. They did not. So every night for 12 hours, you were the weakest, blindest, slowest thing in a world full of hunters who could see you perfectly. Picture one of those nights for a moment. The sun drops, and the warmth drops with it. The colors bleed out of the land until everything is the same shade of gray, and then nothing at all. The fire is burning low. Every rustle in the grass could be the wind, or it could be something circling just past the edge of the light. You cannot tell which. You can only lie still and listen and hope the sound moves away instead of closer. There is no lock on the door because there is no door. There is only you, the dark, and whatever the dark decides to send. That was not a rare, terrible night. That was simply night. Every night for thousands of generations. And this is not a guess we are making about the past. We can still measure it right now, today. In southern Tanzania, people live alongside wild lions, and for years those lions killed people. A team of researchers went back through the records of nearly 500 attacks, spread across 2 decades. More than 2 out of every 3 of them were deadly. But when they lined those attacks up against the calendar, a chilling pattern appeared. The attacks were not random. They clustered in the darkest nights of the month, the stretch right after the full moon, when the evening sky goes black. On those dark nights, the attacks jumped to 2, 3, even 4 times higher than on the bright ones. The lion expert who led the study, a scientist named Craig Packer, put it plainly. Lions rely on darkness to creep up and attack. The dark is simply when they hunt. And then he said something that should stop you cold. This same pressure, night after night for 1,000,000 years, is very likely where our fear of the dark came from in the first place. The big cats are vanishing now, he said, but the mark they left on the human mind will probably never leave. Your fear of the dark has a body count. That is how real it is. But here is what made the night even worse than the blindness. You could not just stay awake and keep watch. Because every night you had to do the single most defenseless thing an animal can do. You had to sleep. Think about how insane that is. For hours you close your eyes, lose all awareness, and lie there still and helpless in the exact stretch of time when the hunters are most active. Sleep is so dangerous that you would almost expect evolution to throw it away. It never could. We need it far too much. So instead, our ancestors did something clever. They never all slept at once. Researchers studied a group of hunter-gatherers in Tanzania who still sleep the old way, on the ground, no walls, no electricity. Across 20 full days of watching them, they found that the entire group was asleep at the very same time for a grand total of 18 minutes. Not 18 minutes a night, 18 minutes across 20 days. For almost every other minute of every night, somebody was awake, and nobody was assigned to it. It happened all on its own, because people of different ages sleep on different clocks. The young stay up late, the old wake before dawn and sleep lightly. Without anyone planning a thing, that natural spread meant there was always a pair of open eyes on the dark. The grandparents who could not sleep were not a burden. They were the night watch. And then came the invention that changed everything. The one thing that could finally push the dark back. Fire. A fire in the night is not just warmth. It is a wall you can see through. It is a circle of light carved out of a world that had belonged completely to the darkness. Inside that circle, the predators hesitated at the edge. Inside that circle, you could see each other's faces. For the first time, a piece of the night was yours. Fire did not only keep you warm. It handed back the hours the dark had stolen. The evening, once a dead zone of pure fear, slowly became the time you gathered together and talked and told stories and stayed human side by side, while the darkness pressed in from every direction. And that darkness plays tricks on you, even now, and there is a reason it does. When there is not enough light, your brain does not simply give up. It fills in the gaps, guessing at what is out there. And it is wired to guess in one direction. Toward threat. That shape in the corner becomes a figure. That small sound becomes footsteps. That patch of shadow quietly grows a face. It feels like your mind turning against you. It is actually your mind trying to protect you. Because out there, over hundreds of thousands of years, the cost of flinching at a shadow that turned out to be nothing was almost zero. The cost of ignoring the one shadow that was a leopard was everything. So your brain learned to choose fear 1,000 times over, just to be right the single time it truly mattered. And once we finally tasted that light, we never let it go. Look at what we have done since. We lit the campfire, then the torch, then the oil lamp. We lit the streets, then whole cities, then wrapped the entire planet in a glow so bright you can now see it from space. We slipped a small square of light into every pocket, so that no human ever has to sit in true darkness again. We have spent thousands of years on one quiet mission we barely even notice we are on, to push back the dark. To never again be blind while something else can still see. Which is why, all these years later, you are still the way you are. It is why you still feel the pull to check behind the shower curtain. Why the basement feels wrong with the lights off. Why you move a little faster up the stairs in a dark house, even though you absolutely know, there is nothing there. And it is why children are so afraid of the dark, so certain something is waiting in the closet. We tell them there is nothing to be scared of. But their fear is not a mistake. It is thousands of generations deep. It is the very same alarm that kept your ancestors alive, still ringing inside a child who has never seen a leopard and never will. So tonight, when you reach for that switch and the dark vanishes in an instant, stop for just 1 second and feel what you are really doing. You are ending something almost unimaginably old. A nightly terror that ruled every human life for 300,000 years, undone with the touch of a single finger. The dark was never frightening because you are weak. It was frightening because, for almost the whole of our story, it was right to be. The blindness was real. The hunters were real. And the fear was the thing that kept us alive long enough to build the light. Even now, safe in a bright and locked room, a small part of you still remembers the dark for what it once was. It never quite believes the danger is gone. And after 300,000 years, maybe it never should.